booming thunder radio, where we groove as the spirit moves. Yeah. Drawing the honey from the rock with the righteous Reverend Doctor on booming thunder radio. Ye seek first the kingdom and the righteousness of the Son. Yeah, make that big old locomotive roll on through town. Yeah, make the soles of men's feet never wear out. Yeah, may their washed feet and their dried and oiled parts, yeah, may they pull a heavy load as that old locomotive goes around the bend. Yeah, one more time, y'all. Full of that kind of ore that the bar has been placed upon the door of this ore. Do you see? Are you a billy goat? Or are you the treasured lamb? Ye, the spirit of truth in your heart, in each of our hearts, calling out to him each morning before dawn's early light, and the mystical carnal nature of the golden dawn witchcraft that all the earth worships in their blindness to the brightness of the light. Yea, for even the deceiver of all mankind moves in this way. So we came and we held our treasure, yea, in our arms even yesterday. All our troubles seem so far away. Yeah, that's the song they're gonna sing today. Yeah. You know, you remember when you was a little kid and you had this little square box? Some were deep dark blue and some were bright red. But they both had a little Model T action. And it played a little tune to your heart. A song about a weasel. And even to this moment, you never pondered what that weasel Pop OS is the best. Ha ha. Well, when our treasured woman of wisdom, that book of the learned word living in our hands, when the blade was placed upon where the Father whispered in our heart and mind to lay the wood upon the forest, yea, that the sun would rise. Two columns of fire through the night, yea, and pillars of cloud during the day. And she parted herself at 1402. Yea, 1402. So that you, yea, that we all would marvel. Let us move in the way of the strong man who moved in this same spirit of truth, that we would all marvel, yea, at the love and kindness in a man's heart that brings forth the living word. Oh, may the word be living in your heart forever. May it be sung on the Sabbath day from your sons unto your daughters, and from your daughters forever faithful to their father. Yea, a chaste virgin each one, a power greater in the spirit than a carnal mind could ever imagine. When a woman uses her power for the one that she was created for alone at her perfect time and in the Father's perfect way to quench the fire of a young spirit. But no, this is the same passion that the 200, that the angels who decided that they would rather be men. And so they came down and they laid with these women. Billy goats, you know what I mean. Even to this day, they hold their can out. Have you ever seen a billy goat eat a can? But now you know why he does. Does a billy goat chew the cud? Can you eat a billy goat? And you barbecue a billy goat? Or do you give a lamb a sacrifice, a savory smoke for the Father alone, bringing praise unto His name, a peace beyond imagination, the living Word? Yea. Let's see what the strong man says. Let's start with our brother Brown. Yeah, like the one we grew up with, old Ricky Browning. Almighty Father, forgive him. Strengthen his family for what they have endured for these moments. Yeah. The Spirit of truth tell him to go and wash 7 times in the salt water today. And come home and kiss that angel of his on the lips, that he would be healed by the faith in his heart. That all the island would wonder and marvel, even as the lava pours out into this very day. Oh, my brother Brown, driver, the Briggs H1402, Gabar. The BDB definition of Gabar: the valiant. Yea, ahead, do you hear? Ahead of a family, of returning exiles under Zerubbabel. Yea, Well, let's see what that old complete word study has to say. Oh, not too much. Really, not anything at all. A proper noun designating Gebar, as in Ezra 2:20, the sons of Gebar. There it is, H1403. There were 95 of them. Alright, so let's move into the newer age we are in now. That's twisted this world up in witchcraft unimaginable. This Greek mindset, this pantheon of worshiping gods. No, mighty friends, there is but one. You can either be a faithful bondservant to the one, or you'll be a slave unto the other. As witnessed in the G 1402 in the complete word study. Meaning to be a slave, to serve as a slave, to make a slave or servant. It's your own choice of free will. Will you serve the one true God and allow only His Spirit, which is unknown in all the earth? He is only truly found one way, by His Son's teaching, which is the living Word. The Spirit of truth comes in your heart and teaches you, and the other brothers, the other remnant that have, been given the key and walk in and out of the gate with our hope of glory each morning, walking upon the Galilee, holding His hand. Free in the truth, a bondservant made free. Or a slave to the pit of hell with a line longer than you could ever imagine. To be subjugated, subdued, such as in Romans 6:22. But now, having been freed from sin and enslaved to God, the unknowable God revealed but by the Son alone in the living Word in your heart, you derive your benefit, resulting in sanctification, and the outcome is eternal life, mighty friend. How could one be so foolish? Taste and see that the salt of the living Word is true and sharper than any double-edged sword in heaven or the earth. It also denotes not so much a relation of service as primarily one of dependence. As once you have tasted the glory and you have come in and out of the door, or you have felt the wind when the door was opened, when the rushing wind came by you, the Spirit within a man that loves the Word more than his own breath. I pray each of you would have that kind of love seen, given to your son from your woman, that woman made just for you, that woman that we, from this moment, and even some our whole lives, faithful to this one woman, as she has been faithful unto us, and each of us with the hope of glory in each other's heart, circumcising ourselves in our hearts, pomegranate seeds, all the rest, a renewed blood covenant, yea, a spotless lamb, we all will become. A better way, Joseph and Benjamin came forth with the blessing and not the curse. Yea, put your family curse aside this day, mighty friend. Be not enslaved to evil. Work not iniquity upon the earth, and the demons that never die, the offspring of those 200, you see. And every woman they had, and every son brought forth the spirit in that son, had a spirit that would never die, a spirit that was never meant to be in a human upon the earth, only a spirit that was meant to be in the heavens, doing the Father's will and work in the earth, honoring men that honor the Father. This is Mystery Babylon that you would never know if you love the world of Mystery Babylon. If you love the smell of bacon and love fatty pork, if you could just imagine how abominable that really is. Be not ignorant of the word, mighty friend. Walk in the glory of the everlasting glory, which is the living word. And when the father of the house bursts the first lady of the house in this way, the way of Joseph and Benjamin, yea, Jacob, yea, beyond the 10, the 2, yea, you know who you are, and they especially know who you are. That's why none of us know who we are. For if we knew who we are, we would have been dead already. But now that the glory has come in our hearts, and the Spirit of truth has revealed unto each of us who we are to become, in mercy, in humility, in love of the living word in our heart, whether our children that are dead, that the spirit of Elijah would come and circumcise you both, that the oil, yea, that she, that woman you love, could pour the oil into all the children until there are no more vessels to fill. And what was once dead is now, with the hovering and faithfulness of the Father, with the Elijah spirit, yea, Elisha, even his faith a double portion. How much greater will your portion be a savory wine. Yeah. Don't put this new wine in the old wineskin. Yeah, you let the old men sip the old wine, and you give, yeah, the brave new young eagles in the earth. Let us go from the complete word study and see what our brother Thea has to say about G1402. Dulu, the third definition, to make a slave of or reduce to bondage. Metaphorically, do you understand the twisting of the metaphorically corrupt, paganized mystery Babylon's corruption of our living word? Yeah, their phallic symbols and their rods and their reels when they go fishing. Metaphorically, give myself wholly to one's needs and service. That sounds more like what we're looking for. To make each of ourselves a bondsman to him who created all things. Yea, it's related to G1401, which has a couple of hundred references in the New Testament. Let's see, 127 total occurrences. 66 as servant. 66, and you put a man in that, what kind of servant? One with a carnal nature, who thinks he is God, deceived from the brightness of the golden dawn light. There's 66 of those occurrences. And do the math, okay? Are you with me? Now, if you put an S on that, servants, there's 53 occurrences like that. That's like a new beginning. A serpent of snakes, or a serpent of sixes. 6 times it was as bond, once as bondsman, and once as servants with the apostrophe S. Well, let's check out the bondsman, the Revelation 6 and 15. Then the kings of the earth and the great men and the commanders and the rich and the strong and every slave, there it is, G1401, the one it's related to, not the exact article, because the article we're talking about are the willing bondservants like Yehoshua HaMashiach that only did what his Father revealed. And nothing in the earth could stop him when he walked the earth to do his Father's will. They're so foolish in their blindness, their carnal minds. And let's not forget all the free men whom hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. Now, what did all these great men and these slaves of a sum of 18, perhaps 17, and the dark one in their heart? They said to these mountains and to these rocks, fall on us and hide us from the presence of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, even the WRTH, ye, with our Abba Father right in the middle of it all. Do you hear? For the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to stand? Who has done all to stand in the evil day? Well, I know there's quite a few of my brothers out there, Hanukkah warriors of Silicon Valley. Yeah, and they have seen and tasted and have bagfuls of salt and mustard seeds. Good old boys, each and every one. Well, let's just see where the Father revealed the living word at 1402, which is Daniel. Daniel, my brother, he is so good to me. Yeah. I see Daniel waving goodbye. Oh, I miss Daniel. Oh, I miss him so much. Let's get in here with Daniel, our brother. Yeah, and let's find out about 8 and Daniel 9, okay? So let's get the living word in the palm of your hand, mighty friend. Rifling there about page 1402 is where I'm at, which is Daniel 8. And it is the beginning of our journey today, is the vision of the ram and the goat. And so now you know the rest of the story from the title. And what bucking and what cans and what cud, ye billy goats chew in their bellies. Almighty Father, may all of our iniquity, yea, we have all fallen short of your glory, Father. Oh, let each of us every morning prepare for the day. Let us pray, forgive all the earth, and do our best to manifest your Son, yea, the living word in our heart upon all the earth. If each man does this, the earth would change in the twinkling of an eye. Yea, truth is endless. The word in its revelation, it's endless. when your eyes are open and the Spirit of truth is in your breath and in your step, there ain't nothing like it, brother. And when you see it in your sons' hearts from that woman you love, reading those sons, the proverb of the day, since the day they were conceived in their wombs, her hope of glory, her praying for the treasured son. I guarantee sons and daughters have to be raised to understand how to help the son maintain the proverb each day. And that's how you see on top, behind the last veil, the Holy of Holies, mighty friend. Adam and the eve of destruction and the glowing of light, which is the love of the truth in each of their hearts for the Word and for the living Word, manna fasted, brings the light beyond any carnal reasoning. The things that magicians and dark warlocks conjure in their blindness. All is done by one Spirit. Nothing is done without this Spirit giving approval. Nothing. The Spirit of truth. When He comes, evil, it's like mist upon the water and dust in the wind. In the 3rd year, do you hear? In the 3rd year of the reign, hallelujah, let it rain every day. Yeah, the reign of Belshazzar, the king, a vision appeared to Daniel, subsequent to the one which appeared to him previously. So Daniel looked in the vision, and while he was looking, he was in the citadel with Susa, the citadel of Susa, which is in the province of Elam. And I looked in the vision, and Daniel himself was beside the Ul-Ai canal, the U-L-A-I, anal, sea anal. Oh, this is a mystery that right before our eyes. Yeah, this vision is working. A digital image of a beast of our carnal desire. Yeah, then our brother Daniel lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a ram which had 2 horns, was standing in front of the canal, yea, the carnal mind. Now the 2 horns, yea, they were long, but one was longer than the other, with the longer one coming up last. Do you understand? There are arms, biceps and triceps, yea, and hairy forearms seen. And there are olive branches and pomegranates whose fruit is not picked until the 4th season. Daniel saw the ram budding westward, northward, and southward, and no beast could stand before him, nor was there anyone to rescue from his power. But he did as he pleased and magnified. While Daniel was observing, behold, a male goat was coming from the west over the surface of the whole earth without touching the ground. Yea, the mystery of 5G and the coming, yea, of the goat heads, yea, like hog head cheese. Goat head cheese was now what's going to be chunked up inside. And the goat had a conspicuous horn between his eyes. He came up to the ram that had the 2 horns, which Daniel had seen standing in front of your carnal mind, and rushed at him in his mighty wrath, his wraith. Do you hear? Do you see and taste the salt? Yea, Daniel saw and tasted it. Yea, he saw him come beside the ram, and he was enraged at him. And he struck the ram and shattered his 2 horns. And the ram had no strength to withstand him. So he hurled him to the ground and trampled on him, and there was none to rescue the ram from his power. In this world unseen, there are a world seen by those that perceive that they control the world, and there is a world unseen, the ones who know that the living God, the one true God, Yod He Vav He, revealed but by the living word of his Son, who gave his whole life that we would know this, revelation at the perfect time. Then the male goat magnified himself exceedingly, believing that the world that he created, that the blind masses are bound in and bow to continuously with their image of the beast in their hands. But as soon as he was mighty, as soon as he had trampled the ram, and magnified himself exceedingly, and as soon as he became mighty on the earth, the large horn was broken. Yea, and mighty Jehovah's perfect time. And in its place there came up 4 conspicuous horns toward the 4 winds of heaven. Do you hear? The large horn was broken off, and in its place there came up 4 conspicuous horns. That word horns has been added. But there came up 4. For you are conspicuous, are you not, toward the 4 winds of heaven? Yeah, well, let's see about this little horn. What's it all about? Out of one of them came forth a rather small horn, which grew exceedingly great toward the south. Sounds like a third, a carbon copy and not the real thing, of the everlasting glory. The 3, pointing the way to the one for all Torah. 3.1415, not 3:3. We are the original. Out of one of them, out of those 4, came forth a rather small horn, which grew exceedingly great toward the south. I wonder how cold and rocky that place could be. Or if it's more equatorish in the beautiful land. Toward the east and toward the beautiful land. So this little horn grew exceedingly great toward the south and towards the east, the southeast. That sounds like everywhere where the worm did not burrow in the promised land, does it not? As that is the beautiful land. If you've ever been upon this great promised land. You know that that is the promised land. The west is the dry desert. That's the wilderness we must go 40 years. Or 40 days and 40 nights, y'all. Yeah, it grew up. This little horn, it grew up to the host. Yeah, the host of heaven. And caused some of the host and some of the stars to fall to earth. And it trampled them down. Alright, so it sounds like that this little horn is now whooping up on the 200 that they're doing some some second degree. They got a DEFCON thing going on there that only spiritual Hanukkhites could possibly understand. Because now these stars that fell to the earth are being trampled down. The principalities are being trampled. It even magnified to be equal with the commander of the hosts, and it removed the regular sacrifice from him, and the place of his sanctuary was thrown down. And on account of transgression, the host will be given over along with the regular sacrifice. And it will fling truth to the ground and perform and prosper, performing its will. Okay. Now the sons of glory are going to come. The billy goats are going to trample them down. The unseen world will come alive with 4 great male goats. Are they male goats? It just says that there were 4 conspicuous, and then they added horns toward the 4 winds. So, but as soon as he was mighty, the large horn was broken. These 4 horns came up. One of them from the south, with a small horn, grew exceedingly great in the southwest, in the beautiful land, Alabama, Mississippi, Mississippi Queen. You know what I mean. Mississippi Queen. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then it grew up. It grew up to the host of heaven. And caused some of the host and some of the stars to fall to earth. This one magnifies himself even more than the living word, which is the commander of hosts, that commands all, creates all, commands all, yea, the eternal one, magnifying himself beyond, removing the regular sacrifice, which is the blood of the Lamb, in a man's heart. And they threw truth down to the ground and built a temple, a sanctuary. Yea. And this is why the regular sacrifice of the blood in our hearts that cover, yea, the offering, the living sacrifice we are, now have corrupted it into killing of animals and spilling of their blood for remission of their pagan hidden ways. Yeah, but then Daniel heard a holy one speaking. And another holy one said to that particular one who was speaking, How long will the vision about the regular sacrifice apply, while the transgression causes horror? Well, what would cause you horror if you saw them spilling the blood of babies and putting their Easter eggs in the blood of these little babies, the way that this is the Easter tradition that they have concealed Passover with, so that the death angel in your ignorance would come and kill your spirit another year. Make you eat abominable things that kill you, that give you disease, that make your blood sky high with iron. Eating and drinking and doing things that are against the word. Having an unforgiven heart. Remember, Yahshua said, Come not and pray at the temple unless you have forgiven your brother. You will not ever be forgiven for anything. You will never walk with God, with the living word of the Spirit, unless you forgive all who have wronged you knowingly and unknowingly, you and your family, unless you forgive each one of them with the true love and compassion of the word in your heart, manna fasted before the light of day. Every day. This is the strength of the living word, to walk in the power and the glory, the everlasting glory. And nothing can touch us. Yeah, they're going to trample us. Let's read what's going to happen next. Are you with me so far? This horror, so as to allow both the holy place and the host to be trampled. You are the holy place. You are the temple, mighty friend. And the host is your love of the truth that is in your breath and in your step, every one you take. How long will all this horror, transgression occur? A witness of this question is in Psalm 74:10, mighty friend. And the Holy One speaking, he said to each of us, for 2,300 evenings and mornings, then the holy place will be properly restored in a man's heart. Yea, hallelujah. And the abominations in the earthly temple, the one that, well, you know, he's going to go down and he's going to sit down in there and he's going to proclaim himself to be God in this moment we just read about, and that he is the Spirit of the living God in the earth, and this is his temple, deceiving you all that are so blind, that do not love the truth, that have not read and studied it with a love like you had, yea, for your lover in your youth. Yeah, love her like wisdom, like old men love, yea, forever, in the treasured heart who sits upon his side. So the interpretation of the vision, did you see it? Do you understand a greater morsel than you did before? Well, if you do, then perhaps you are part of the remnant. If you made it all the way through this far, then perhaps there is more waiting for you. But if you're still bewildered, this part is for you. So when Daniel had seen the vision, Daniel sought to understand it as each of us have done our whole lives, have we not? And behold, standing before Daniel was one who looked like a man. And Daniel heard the voice of a man. Between ULAI, yeah, the artificial intelligence by the banks. And he called out and he said, are you ready? Gabriel, give this man an understanding of the vision. Yea, that you would marvel, mighty friend. So he came near to where Daniel was standing. And when he came, Daniel was frightened and fell on his face. But Gabriel, the mighty archangel, said to Daniel, Son of man, which you are, understand that the vision pertains to the time of the end. Now, while he was talking with us, Daniel sank into a deep sleep with his face to the ground. But he touched Daniel and made Daniel stand upright. He said, Behold, yea, behold, Are you ready? Gabriel and Daniel, behold. He said, behold, I am going to let you know what will occur at the final period of the indignation, for it pertains to the appointed time of the end. The ram's identity. The ram which you saw with the two horns represents the kings of Media and Persia. Do you understand? But who is the goat? The shaggy black-haired goat represents the kingdom of Greece. The Greek word culture. The Greek word smithing. The Greek nakedness of Saturnalia's worship. Yea, study not the way of the pagan, and worship our Father Mariahovah in the way of a pagan, for it is an abomination to him. And the large horn that is between his eyes is the first king. The broken horn and the four horns that arose in its place represent four kingdoms which will arise from his nation, although not with his power. Do you understand? Are you, say, all together? Right now, over we, when the transgressors have run their course, a king will arise, insolent and skilled in intrigue. His power will be mighty, but not by his own power, and he will destroy to an extraordinarily degree, and prosper and perform his will. He will destroy mighty men and the holy people. And though his shrewdness, yea, through his shrewdness, he will cause deceit to succeed by his influence, and he will magnify in his heart himself and not the one true God. And he will destroy many while they are at ease. He's going to do this with all this wireless radiation, these radio frequencies that have been being studied, well, actually have been being revealed by these demons that have been here longer than you could ever imagine. And all their wisdom, yeah, if you bow down and worship them rather than the one true God, then they will reveal all they know. Weapons of war, weapon making of iron, all kinds of smith's work. And through their shrewdness, yea, they will cause deceit to succeed by their influence. Yea, they're those that are called 30, and those that are beyond are called the dirty 30. Do you understand? You see, he will even oppose the prince of princes, but he will be broken without human agency. The vision of the evenings and mornings, the 2300, which has been told, is true. But keep the vision secret, for it pertains to many days. Then Daniel was exhausted and sick for many days. Then Daniel got up again and carried on with the king's business. But Daniel was astounded at the vision, and there was none that could explain it in his time. Oh, the faithfulness of our brother Daniel. He went and prayed, yea, for his people. Yea, and there were those that, yea, like Purim, had him thrown into the pit. Yea. But look who has the end of the rope now. And whose blade is upon your chest. So, we have much more, so we're going to end right now, and we're going to come back to you in just a little while. Y'all be groovy now. You hear?